blessed sunrise. Blessed. How are you doing today? This is Jasmine, the Mystic Eye with self-realization. How are you doing today? Baby Primalites. Hey, all my baby Primalites. Do you know who you are? So hey baby Primalites, how are you doing today? This is Jasmine, the Mystic Eye with self-realization. So baby Primalites, I have made a chart with all the 5 steps to liberation. 5 steps to becoming a non-dual being. And so step 1. So let me shift my chart over so that maybe you can see it. So that the first step. Okay, can you see that first step right there? Step 1, self-realization. So, what is self-realization? Right? Do you know who you are? How do you identify yourself? So that's what self-realization now is telling you, that you have to realize who you are. It's like the mango seed has the potential to be a mango tree bearing many mangoes. And this is the reason why I say that all baby Primalites, because you're a baby, you're in a seed, and so you have to come to that realization that you are the baby of the Primalites, right? And the seed have to come to know its potential. And then once you activate, you can grow and be like the tree. You can be like the tree, and you also can bear fruit. For every seed, that's the process of it. All right. So the seed must realize its potential. Ignorance obscures the true nature of the self, and the mind has taken on a false self-identification. So is that you have to self-realize. I self-realize. I realize I am a baby Primalite with full potential. I realize I am participating as a character in a dream of my own creation. I realize that the self, the soul, is the real self and not the ego. The ego is just the mind. The ego is just the mind. The mind has taken precedent over the self and has claimed this body and has claimed this existence. But you are not the mind and you are not the body. And you say, I am not this body. I am not this mind. You are the self, and the self is obscure behind the mind. So on this journey, the self, what the self has really done is it has fractalized itself and has made a puzzle out of itself. And the whole idea is that once we're in this journey, is that we have to put our self puzzle back together. All right, we have to put our self puzzle back together so we can put all the pieces. Nobody ever told us that, but this is what this really is about. It's not for you to go finding a God, because what you need is inside of you, and all the pieces that you have to put together. Because inside, the self has made a duality of itself that splits itself into the soul and the spirit. The spirit is obscure behind the mind hiding, right? The spirit is hiding behind the mind. The mind is in unawareness of the spirit, the self. And so the mind is taking precedent over the self, and it's the one that is talking, eating, doing all of these things. And the self is sleeping. So this is what you have to come to realization about. Why must I self-realize? Because the self is obscure behind the mind and is not in awareness of itself, or its other self, the soul. Because of this ignorance, the mind has risen up as the false self, the ego, and has taken precedent over the self, and has been putting the soul in slavery to the consciousness beings, the gods and the archangels. The soul, which has split itself into duality, has allowed the person to be. The soul creates this person. The soul is the one that creates the body and put the self, the spirit in it. And now the soul is longing to be whole, balanced self. The soul is longing to go back and being a unified self and not to be fragmented. It wants the spirit to merge back into it. And it wants the mind, because it gives the spirit a piece of his consciousness as mind, and it wants the mind to be returned back into it, that ego, yes. So now the soul is longing to be a whole balanced self. So self-realization will allow the self, the spirit, to come to know its real self and must merge in union back into the soul. The soul is longing to be free and boundless. So this is the reason why self-realization is so important, and that is step number 1. So I have made a book called Soul Seed, and this book explains the 5 steps that you have to take to liberate the soul and to become a non-dual being. And so all you have to do is click the link under and you can purchase your book on Amazon. And so I am going to read the first thing in here on the self-realization. I think I have it up here also. But this way I can look, look straight at the camera. Self. Yeah. So this is what you want to do. I realize I am the supreme in this fractal form as a baby self. I realize I am the participant in a dream of my own making. I realize the self fractalize and manifest the spirit, the personal self, taking form as a human being. I realize the spirit is asleep behind the mind and must be awakened. I realize the self is longing to be free and boundless. The spirit must merge back in union with the self for the self to be balanced and in harmony. I awake the sleeping self, the God in me. Awake, awake, awake. Oh, sleeping self. Arise, beloved self, the great I am. I awake to my truth. I awake to my true self. I invoke my soul's blessings and light. I invoke my higher self, the witness self, my primal guru self, the dispeller of ignorance, the knower of consciousness. I am not this body. I am not this mind, this ego. I am not this body. I am not this mind. I am not this body. I am not this mind. I am the luminous, pure consciousness. I am Brahman. I am the Supreme Self. I am Primalite. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. I was never born, so I can never die. I am deathless, timeless, boundless, limitless. I am the eternal truth. I am the eternal self. And so this is what you want to say. This is what you want to say at least for 7 days, until you get it into your system, and watch the video on my self-realization, because to reprogram the self, then you would say, and then you go, So once you make this chant, and I prefer if you write it out in your own handwriting. Write it out in your own handwriting, so you connect with it. You say it, and then you at the end of it you say and you say to seal it within yourself and to reprogram your cells and reprogram your mind. And so I want to thank you very much for joining me on self-realization, the first The first topic of our book and the 5 steps being liberation of the soul. The book is called Soul Seed, and you can click the link below to get your copy. Please like and please share, and please leave a comment and tell me if you like the video or not, if I explain things clearly for you, and if there's something else that you would like to be clarified. Okay. So thank you again so much for joining me. This is Jasmine, the Mystic Eye with self-realization. And our first step today was step 1, self-realization. And why must I self-realize? Yes. To the prime of life, I bow to the prime of guru. I yes down, I bow to the eternal truth. Into the light, I bow to the prime of guru. Guru, guru, I yes down, I bow to the eternal truth. To the prime, I bow to the true wisdom. Supreme wisdom, I bow to the great supreme intelligence, self-supreme, primal light, hail to the primal light, hail to the primal light. I call on the primal light. I call on the great transparent wisdom within. Hail to the primal light, self-supreme primal light. I call on the primal light. I seek refuge in the primal light. I seek refuge in the eternal truth. Into the light, into the light, into the light. I am one with the primal light. I am the eternal truth. I am supreme self. Hail, 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 hail to the primal light. Hail to the primal light. Hail to the light throughout the ages. Hail to the true light. Hail to the transparent light. Hail to the self-luminous light. Hail, 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 hail to the primal light. Hail to the primal light. Hail to my guru, guru, primal guru, guru.